YouTube. What is going on? I have to drive somewhere right now. It's going to take me a little while to get there, so I have the directions in my ear. And until I just get out of this little hood right here, I'm going to have to just keep this phone down low. And I will pick it up in a second and take a look and say hello to everybody. But just right now, I wanted to come on at 7, and so that's what I've done. So, hi everybody. Hello everybody in the room. How is everybody doing? I'm super glad to be here. I'm sorry I've been so extraordinarily busy. You have no idea how busy I've been. And so, I have very few minutes to hang, to chill. Very few minutes just to jump on and talk. And I've wanted to do a video, but the simple truth is that it's been so God blessed hot here. This water is going to be warm. I think I was in such a hurry to get out. I didn't really get a chance to grab some cold water, so I just had to drink warm water that's been in the car because it's been so dang hot here in Denver. Okay, so anyway, what's going on? Do I see Chuck Bronson? What's going on, Chuck Bronson? Chuck Bronson, I don't know what, someone asked me the other day what your PayPal or Venmo was, and I didn't know what it was. And I was like, go to his channel, and I couldn't find it. So what is going on? What's going on with the Playboys? Listen, so my life is just consumed right now of doing legal stuff and training. It's consumed. The only videos I've got to watch was Brian from High Impact Flicks, and that's because he sent me the link. And so when I watched, that's the only videos I've been able to see. And then I had to only watch them for a very short period of time because I have to get right back to what I'm doing. It takes so long. Like I remember when I holed up in a hotel room for a week when I first met Bobby Law, and we sat there and just worked on the paperwork for to sue Pam Wagner, and we just, but I remember now the same thing I'm doing now. It just takes so long. You just have to sit there and just troggle away at this paperwork. It takes so long. And I'm sorry if I can't really interact with you guys, but I'm driving and Charlie's just dying to stick his head out the window. He is just dying. So there's the big football coliseum in Denver. What's up, Playboy? Yeah, the drivers in Denver are pretty nice. The drivers in Denver are pretty nice. I've seen a couple things going on in the news, but I really haven't seen much at all because I've just been so engrossed in what I'm doing. Have you guys been to the website yet? Can you let me know if that update took place? Because what I did is I moved my trifold to the front. So, because before people were saying they were having a hard time finding it, and so I moved it to the front. And I don't know if it's taken. Ooh, Jiminy Crickets, dude! You only get one mistake on a motorcycle, and then you are a goner. So now I'd rather drive a minivan like a grandpa. Than take a chance on getting hurt on a motorcycle. In Los Angeles, just in case you guys were wondering, if you ride a motorcycle in Los Angeles, in the city of Los Angeles, it's like within 2 weeks, you will have some sort of either accident or altercation or some sort of incident on that motorcycle that you just simply don't have if you're in a car. Because the first rule in LA when you get a road rager is you do not put the windows down and you don't unlock the doors. it really doesn't matter if I can beat you up or not. I didn't plan on having a fight this morning on my way to work. So I'm just gonna pass. I'm mad at you too. I don't think so. I don't think so. I hear you, dude. I hear you. That's the lane corrector. If I don't stay exactly how the car wants me to stay, it will let me know that you aren't driving as good as I could drive. Is what the car is literally telling me. It's so funny, you know, because they have the white lines painted on the road, but sometimes they're not painted on perfectly, and there's two sets of white lines like there just was, because it needs to be edited or redone. But yo, what's going on, Playboy? What is going on? Listen, you know, I keep talking about the website transparency. It is 100% coming. Oh my God, there's a car stopped right in the middle of the road. Right in the middle of the road. Holy shit. Yeah, he was stopped right. He could be killed. That was scary. Poor sucker. I tried to warn traffic. Everybody saw me pumping my brakes, so they all backed down. Anyway, what's going on? What's going on, Playboys? What's going on, Playboys? You know, it's I'll tell you what, it is liberating when you work constantly, and then when you get off work, and like I literally have enough time to have a conversation with you while I drive over to go pick up this desk and then go back, because I need a desk to set up my big computer. I can't set up my big computer without it, because I don't want to put my hard drive on a flimsy little plastic top. So I have to have it. So what is going on? I wish I could read your comments, you guys, but as you know, if I look away from the road for any amount of time at all whatsoever, I already get a lot of shit just for driving and streaming. But if I look away from the road for any real amount of time, then I get so much guff, so much ridiculousness. I'll still get ridiculousness, as though my car isn't completely steering itself right now and driving in between the lines. And the car, I think sometimes, like just from being pure exhausted, tired, there's a few times when I'm driving across the country that the car will go beep, 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 beep. And I realize, dude, you're falling asleep. Like, you got to pull it over. So I'll pull it over because the car tells me you're not driving as well as I would drive. And then I realize I've been driving for 14 or 15 hours. I better just pull this sucker over. And it's starting to rain here in Denver. It's starting to rain here in Denver. I did talk to someone here in Denver. I hope I get to meet him. Cool dude. I was talking to somebody in Denver. I can't see any of the, I cannot see any of the, I can't see any of the chats, you guys. I'm so sorry. I just can't, because now it's raining and I don't know exactly where I'm going. So I have a map on my other phone, but we could talk about this for sure. And I'll show you guys the proof tomorrow. You know, Right's On and one of our researchers, you know, they slowly but surely change the charges and the tone and the wording for Bradley Spuljeric's charges in Ironton, Ohio. It went from trafficking drugs in the same news clip maybe 2 minutes later to aggravated drug possession. And I have the screenshots. If I didn't have the map on the other phone, I would show them to you. But you guys can check it. And I'm not gonna multitask here as I drive. I'm just gonna drive and talk out loud at the same time. So, but it's just, you know, the local media there in Ironton is in collusion with the police department, because WSAZ, I believe it is, their first print is that Bradley Spuljeric has been arrested for trafficking drugs, for tampering, and for domestic violence. And then in the very, I think they blip it, because I don't know how long it was up. The researcher didn't tell me. But they sent me 2 different screenshots. And I said, these both say 10 minutes apart. And the researcher said to me that they changed the blurb in WSAZ in the same few moments, in the same few minutes. So, wouldn't that be nice for you? What if you were charged in the publication in your local hometown with being a drug trafficker and tampering with evidence, to the next publication just a few minutes later, they're going to take down that one and replace it with that you have aggravated possession. No mention of you beating your wife. I'm laughing at the irony. I'm certainly not. I'm laughing at, you know what I'm really laughing about? The stereotype that 2 out of 5 guys who are cops beat their wives, their children, or both. And then Bradley Spuljerich falls directly into that stereotype. That's what I'm laughing about. Because remember how tough he was when he was behind me? He was so tough. He was acting tough behind me, and I turned around and I said to him, I could put you on the ground, brother, and you know it. And he was like, you're a tough guy. It's like, but then come to find out that he actually has a 911 call of his wife saying he beat me. That's what matters. Did the call come in from a victim? Has anybody got that 911 call yet, by the way? We should be able to get that. Can anybody teach me how to get that 911 call? Because I don't know. Someone teach me how to get the wife calling in. And does she know the dispatcher? Did Bradley Spuljerich's wife know the dispatcher? But the diminishing of his charges through the local press and media, and they wonder why we just have zero trust in the media. Absolutely none. They changed their depiction of him within a couple of moments. Within a couple moments, they changed the depiction of him. Because both blurbs say 10 minutes ago. And so then I said to the researcher, they both say 10 minutes ago. And they said, yeah, they changed it like that. Just chaps your lips, doesn't it? You get cracked, dried lips. You're like, man, they crucified me. They say how the SWAT team raided my home for a suspected perpetrator of and a known bad man. But then for Spooge, whose brother just recently resigned after being accused by an underage person for statutory rape, and then his brother, and then shooting and tasing and abusing Kent Freeman, who Kent Freeman has an ongoing federal civil rights lawsuit against Jonathan Spuljerich. His brother Bradley Spuljerich, the local paper, and now what happened? It was 20 grams of meth, and it was 8 grams of fentanyl. It was tampering with evidence. Those were the charges. Those were the measurements we got. How did they go to 19 grams? And what happened to the fentanyl? The fentanyl is the big one because they just had that big bust. So where's the fentanyl? What happened to the measurements that you gave us initially? Where they at? How'd it go down like that? How'd that happen? How did we go from 20 grams to 19 grams? My whole life, right? My whole life. From the time I was 7 years old on, I had to make weight, right? You had to weigh this amount. 119, 125, 130, 135, 142, 152, 160, 171, 189, 220 heavyweight. You have to fit within those brackets of weights. You have to make one of those weight classes. So when you tell me that there's 20 grams of meth and 8 grams of fentanyl, I believe you. That's what you told me. That's what you told me. I didn't make those numbers up. Nobody said, hey, I'm in Denver, Colorado. I'm not there. I didn't make those numbers up. How are they disappearing? Ironton people, how are those numbers disappearing? Rights on. Make that video. Rights on. Just put the video together, and I'll straight copy it and I'll put it right on my channel. My jaw's actually sore from squeezing down. Jeebus! So, I mean, it's just so simple. How in the world did the numbers change? How did it go from 20 grams of methamphetamines and 8 grams of fentanyl to 19 grams of meth? How did it go from trafficking to aggravated possession? I don't know about you, but if someone gave me 28 grams of assorted hard drugs, I wouldn't accept them, number one. I can't accept gifts from anybody unless it comes from Amazon. I can't, right? People try to give me things, I can't take it because I don't know what you're giving me for real. So, but then Bradley Spooge is trying to tell us that someone gave it to him and he just held on to it. That's the story I'm hearing coming out of Ironton. I don't know what's true and what's not true, but that's what I'm hearing. But what happened to the 8 grams of meth of fentanyl? What happened to that? Anybody? I may lose you guys. I'm going through the Rocky Mountains of Denver, Colorado. So Charlie's a little bear. Over there, stay over there, Charlie. You can't lay on my. I got to drive and I'm talking and. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't want the people of, listen, I heard the stories from the people in Ironton who were railroaded by this guy, who were cheated by the Ironton police, charging them with trafficking. Constantly, charging them with charges that they didn't do. Heightening their charges. Now somehow Bradley Spoojaric's charges can just start to disappear. They just start to go away. It went from 20 and 8 grams to now it's just straight 19 grams, and now it's just a possession charge. How'd that happen? Can anybody educate me? Is he rights on? Make the video. Put the screenshots together. Rights on. I sent them to you. You sent them to me. We saw them. The same publication let out 2 different descriptions of what Bradley Spoojaric was doing. How many people been railroaded by cops? You get charges that you shouldn't have. What's the most common one? Assaulting a police officer, attempting to flee. How are you going to prove you didn't? Unless there's a video footage of it. You're screwed. Cop saying so. Kent Freeman, he would be facing those 2 felonies, but Jonathan had to resign from too much pressure from the bad things he's done, because he did bad things. God forgive him. Give him a chance at redemption. He owes big time. So Bradley, you don't get off though, dog. Not in our current system. In our current system, Bradley, I'm sorry, bro. It's bad for you. I'm sorry, dude. I don't agree with putting people in a cage to punish them or rehabilitate them. It doesn't work. Only education makes the character of a man change. John Locke. people far smarter than me. But Spooge does not get a hall pass, and his drugs do not disappear out of the Ironton locker like Pam Wagner told us they did so much throughout the throughout the history of time. Throughout the history of time. It's incredible. Spooge, you don't get off, dude. Spooge, you know what? See, this is where Jeff Lloyd will call me a liberal. This is where Jeff Lloyd will say, you are such a liberal. But he actually agrees with me on this. Just not on, where I'm soft here. Spooge does not belong in a prison for the drugs. He belongs in prison for being the abuser that he is. But he doesn't belong in prison for drugs. Dealing drugs, buying drugs, selling drugs. We're not going to solve it with jails. We're not going to solve it by locking people up for 20 years. It's not going to change a damn thing. It's not going to change anything. V Boyer, Tommy, what's going on, Playboy Scrubzilla? What's up? What's up, Rights On? I can just take a real quick glance. Boy, for some reason, I didn't realize, but, today was the first day off in a few days that I said, you know what, I better just chill and not work so damn hard today physically and just take the day off. And I forgot to chug a bunch of water. So I can actually feel the dryness all across me. I'm really dry. So, but has anybody else heard this in Ironton? Yo, Marcy. Has anybody else? Marcy, you got your t-shirt. You got to send me a picture. Happy 40th again, Marcy. I'm legally and things like that, but I only remember some things. Look at this. Beautiful, huh? Beautiful. So I think tomorrow, and even tonight, because we're allowed, I'm not breaking the rules of YouTube by asking you to go to the Ironton Troop page, the Ironton Police Department Facebook page, and ask them what happened to the 8 grams of fentanyl. What happened to the 20th gram of methamphetamines? What happened to those two things? Because those are super duper important as far as keeping track of the drugs. I didn't make those numbers up, did I? Did I make those numbers up? Did I make those numbers up? Did I make the numbers up that Bradley Spuljarek got caught with 20 grams of meth and 8 grams of fentanyl? I didn't do that. I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty of that. I didn't do it. Those numbers came out of Ironton. Now, what happened? How are we at 19 grams of meth and no fentanyl now? If I got caught with fentanyl, let's say that I got caught with fentanyl, would you guys forget how much I got caught with? Whether you love me or hate me, you wouldn't forget, would you? If they announced that ChilleDeCastro got caught with 20 grams of meth and 8 grams of fentanyl, how many people here would just forget? How many? Zero. Hate me, love me, first time on the channel, first time you hear that someone gets caught with that amount of chemicals, you remember it. So Bradley Spuljarek is a cop in Ironton, Ohio. I went to Ironton. I told them that the cops are the drug dealers in this town. I said the cops are the biggest drug dealers here. A few months later, Bradley Spuljarek got caught with drugs, a whole bunch of drugs, enough drugs to deal those drugs. That's all I'm saying. Originally, the paper said he was going to be charged with trafficking, and now he's only aggravated possession. I don't think 20 grams of meth is just a possession. Do you? Sorry, Bradley. I'm sorry, Bradley. Rights On, put those clips together, would you, man? I mean, would you please? Because that's, Rights On knows I'm super busy, but I was triggered earlier today. I mean, I was just triggered when I read the blurbs that showed how they diminished how much drugs this man had. It was sickening. It's sickening. But then when they talk about me, they say that I made schools go, without any verification. They said that I made schools go into lockdown and I scared the children with no verification. Yet they diminish what the crimes of someone who swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and to be the watchdog of that community. And the press then begins to diminish what he's done. Would you hold on to 20 grams of meth for anybody? You couldn't get me to do it. Someone contacted me earlier and they said, Chille, you're in Denver. And they were so excited, and I'm excited to have a friend in Denver. And they said, oh man, I can get you, this much weed. You can get all this. And I'm like, no thanks. A joint, dude, a joint, It's not the game I'm in. I'm not in the game of having a pound of weed. That's not my game. That's not what I'm doing. No thanks. I'm only interested in, you got a bag? An eighth maybe. Anything more than an eighth, I'm probably going to waste it because it's not coming in my car. It is what it is. This is a dirt road I'm going down. This is cool. So I guess it gives me a few minutes to talk to you because I'm a half a mile away from my destination. So I'll just sit here and kind of rap a little bit. Take a look at the local folks. Hi. They're like, who's the guy with California place smiling at me? He's a real creeper. What's going on, Golden State fan? I could just say hello to you guys for a couple seconds here. Try to stay in the Gloria, what's going on? Wally, how are you? Tam, what's going on? Don't talk to pigs! Don't talk to pigs! Eric, what's going on, brother? Got your text message. Will, how you doing, dude? How are you? I'm sorry, I have not been able to make videos all week. I'm super busy. Brian, what's going on? What's going on, random? Bruce, how are you? Knight Rider in the hizzy. What's going on? JMM, what's going on? Listen, if you guys already have a trifold, check out the website. I put the trifold on the front. Buy a website for your cousin, for your best friend, for your brother. People make fun of my trifolds, because it's, you talk about me and you get some views on your video. But really, everybody should have it. And you should always just invoke your right to remain silent. And then you shouldn't do what I do. You shouldn't follow what I did. You should just shut the F up, give me your license registration, and then always invoke your right to remain silent using that trifold. And the other ones are just for your rebuttals. But if you have one already, buy one for your cousin or friend, because I haven't been making any videos. And plus, we got to build the brand. We are building the brand, but we have to continue to build until we jump the rails of social media. And I think that won't happen until I'm able to go up north and meet with a friend of mine about really finishing the transparency application that what it essentially does is it takes on the Fraternal Order of Police. It takes them on because what the Fraternal Order of Police is doing is they are putting in ex-cops in different cities, towns, boroughs, municipalities, state legislatures. That's what they're doing. The Fraternal Order of Police is funding these cops. And then what they're doing when they fund the cops is they're then giving them pre-written bills that give them the access to the body cam footage, the eye goggle footage, the dash cam footage, whatever footage that we would want. Now, what's the number one principle of transparency? The first things first is we need a constitutional amendment that says that we get access to any and all body cam, dash cam, any footage shot from a government agency if we are charged or we are arrested. So that's, there's a very straight agenda here. I don't want to make, and I say this all the time, but what makes Big Brother? What makes Big Brother is you don't get access to the camera footage. That's what makes Big Brother. As long as we don't get access to the footage of the cameras that are set up all over government buildings on I'm a little early actually, so I'm gonna flip a UE here and go back down over here. What makes, and they've been saying Big Brother for how long? For how long have you heard the term Big Brother? It's because we don't get access to the camera footage. That's why. If we got access to the camera footage, we wouldn't have all the problems that we have. We wouldn't have all the problems that we have. Because we would be able to see what is unseen. And so that's what transparency technology will eventually do, is take on that fraternal order of police and rival them through the persons of justice system. I mean, I've been busy. I've been really busy. To change these things requires around-the-clock effort. To change anything, to do anything great, to do anything good, it requires around-the-clock constant devotion and dedication. That's why it's hard. Every time I do anything else besides work towards the mission to change this bullshit system, I think to myself, what am I doing with my time and why am I doing it? And so the things I'm doing right now, the legal paperwork and training, there's things I can't get out of. I can't get out of training. Chad Gu is training. He's a great big huge dude. I gotta just train the best I can, do the best I can, and just always remember that when I'm at my best, I'll do my best, and that's it. So, but there's two things I can't stop doing. There has to be a legal remedy to things. And the only way you get to that legal remedy is if you file a lawsuit. It's the only way. So that's what I have to focus on. That's what I have to get done. I have to get things completely done. You know, and I took a look at that Arizona case again the other day where I went there and I didn't have the backing to go to jail. There was a lot of people watching, but I didn't have anybody there to get me out of the dungeon if they took me to the dungeon. Wow, that's gorgeous. Charlie's a little bear. So, yeah, you know, I just didn't feel like I had the backing to take a chance to be put in a dungeon in Arizona. Put my car in park here. Oh! He's fine. He just got slipped when I hit the brakes. But, you know, it's... I honestly, you know, I don't know. There's things I want to say and there's things that I'm just not going to say until everything is done. And so the only thing that I can really do is always work on me and my ability and my willingness to fight back. You know, the last two stories that I've been on the phone with, because I spend probably at least 3 or 4 hours a day on the phone talking to victims. And it starts with an email and I kind of listen, I see if you have a video, and then, and the last 2 days, the last 2 conversations I've had with people, this system that's been created is railroading people. It is making criminals out of people who certainly are not criminals. There is no damage done to people. There's no damage. There's no victim to give restitution to. There's no property damage. There's no theft. And I know 2 people in the last 2 days who one I think is just on probation. They could have been dropped down to misdemeanor probation, but the other one got convicted of 2 felonies and there's no victim. There's absolutely no victim. We've allowed a system to be created that is based on, if we say you broke a law, even if there's no victim, you can still be a felon for life. You can still have to appeal your case and go to court. You can still have to go and face possible jail time, and there's no victim. There's no property damage. And that really truly needs to be the standard. If there's no victim and there's no property damage, then it cannot be a felony. How's that? How's that? Now listen, you're gonna have cases where it's armed robbery. They victimized you by taking away your right to be free in that moment. You were essentially kidnapped for a moment. No, maybe nobody got hurt, maybe they didn't get any money out of you, but the arming and seizing you against your will violates your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person. So you're gonna have people who are moronic. But the truth is, with no victim and no property damage and no restitution due, there should be no way it can be a felony. Now, there's gonna be all kinds of different nuances of law, of course. There's gonna be exceptions to every rule, if we're not gonna be preposterous. However, there's so many laws created and crafted in our country that are specifically meant just to lock you in jail, just to have a reason. And we've seen that when I drive along and I see that there's a cop pulled over on the side of the road hiding. He's hiding to get you for a crime. And then he's gonna try to say, oh, it's about you being bad is why I'm here. I saved someone's life because you're so bad. Well, you know, when I talk, it's just so preposterously stupid that guy is there to save anybody when truthfully, if anybody didn't see the video I made, if he put his lights on and sat there at a specific place in the road, alerting people he's there with just the white lights, then people would slow down because they would see the cop there. If he's truly worried about that little restaurant and bar row right there, then go put your car right there and turn on the white lights on the side of the road. Everybody will see it. Everybody. And everybody will slow down because we live in a jackboot, thug, authoritarian police state. That's why. So it's just that simple. It's just that simple. So we have to eventually come together in the understanding that whether we like it or not, we are entering into a transparency mode. You know, yesterday I talked to Bobby Law and he said, Chille, when you started your channel, then compare that to now. There's a word across all media, transparency. He said it wasn't here last year. Transparency. We are entering into a transparency mode right now. We are seeing constantly that you can't get away from being on camera. If we do not take our right to get access to any camera in the event that we are charged with a crime or we are hurt, then we're gonna lose it and we'll have a giant Big Brother government forever. It has to be our mantra. We need a constitutional amendment that gives us a right to government footage shot by any agency if we're on that footage and we are arrested or we are involved. And you know, that's the mantra. We have to get there. Because what that would mean is there would have to now be an agency created that would give you access to that camera footage. And that would be the Montesquieu agency in transparency that I talked about on a video. That's what that would be. Because if we have a constitutional amendment that you have a right, a civil right, the 27th Amendment, to get the camera footage from that government agency, be it city, police, borough, district, town, I don't care what it is, Homeland Security, I don't care what it is. If you're on camera and you're being charged or you're hurt and you want to file a claim, you get access to the footage within 24 hours. That would force a third-party agency to immediately get the footage first. So there would be no more hiding the footage. There would be no more of those. 2 different guys in Louisiana, the footage was hid for 2 years. And both those guys were killed. I forgot to get water because I got to meet somebody at 8 o'clock, so I got to go in 19 minutes. But I wanted to check in as I drove over here so that I could talk with you guys for a little while. You know, it has to become the mantra, you know, because I've been writing the transparency website now for a week, just writing and writing. And I've been dabbling on it before then, but just writing and writing and writing, because I have to not just say this system sucks and it won't work. I have to present a new system that could and would work now in today's world right now. It would work right now. So I have to present a system that's logical. There's still going to be people who have to be killed by those who claim to uphold an oath to the Constitution, because they're going to violate your rights. There's still going to be people who want to go out in a blaze of glory. We're not going to change that. There's going to be crazy people. There's going to be psychopaths. There's going to be people who are going to have to be killed. There's going to be people who have to be restrained, who have to be grabbed and wrapped up. They have to be. We're never going to change that. There's going to be some people like that. But it's great because, you know, and I'll finish the thought because someone, so we are going into a transparency era, whether we like it or not. The government's not getting less cameras. That's not happening. The government is not saying we're not buying any more cameras anymore. They're buying more cameras. How many buildings do you go to, state or federal? You look up on the roof, there's a camera every 4 feet. There's a little black bulb every 4 feet. How many buildings do you go, state and federal? Are they getting less cameras or more cameras? If you go into that Social Security office and there's 20 cameras up there, and you tell the teller to go F themselves because you're mad that you didn't get your Social Security benefits, and then the security grabs you that we saw there, which was jackboot thug at the Social Security office, they grab you and they arrest you and they hurt you in the process. Who thinks you're going to get access to the camera footage? Put a number 1 if you think you're going to get access to the camera footage. Put a number 2 if you don't think you'll get access to the camera footage. Put a number 1 if you think they're going to give you the camera footage. Put a number 2. Say that when I was at that Social Security office, I had just said, screw it, I'm pushing past. And they had grabbed me, taken me where all the guys with the cameras are, and they beat me up in the back over there. Would I get access to that? 1, yes, 2, no. Just let me know. There was 3 or 4 individual auditors in the front of that Social Security building. Oh, wow. There we go. Oh, wow, that's green. Oh, that's gray. Oh, so cool. My thumb hit a button and I got all these little different filters. That's nice. Look at that. Look at that. That's so nice. So when I was at that Social Security building, are they above dragging me off? Are they better than dragging me off, do you think? If I made them mad enough, do you think they'd grab me and just drag me off? And then once they did drag me off, if I made them really mad, and the beating began, and there was 3 or 4 of them, and of course, I'm not going to punch back. I don't have a choice. I can't punch back. We're not at that place in history. That hasn't happened. So I can't punch back. And so I got 3 or 4 guys hitting me, kicking me, sticking me. One guy's got a taser. He's poking me in the side. Ah, right? You think I'd get the camera footage? Do you think I'd get the camera footage? Do you think I'd get the footage? No. It would be a 2. That would be a 2. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So I think Rights On, is gonna put, so I'll finish the thought. Sorry, guys. We have to, when we talk about transparency, you always have to remind everybody, when you say you want 360 cameras on peace officers, that's another big thing. The term law enforcement doesn't work. Not with 360 cameras on peace officers. You can't put 360 cameras on law enforcers. You're going to create a total police state where anything they pick up on camera, they go back later and arrest you for that. We saw a box over here when we came by for your domestic, and so now you know, we got a warrant for that box because we think maybe so. No, no. The whole term law enforcers, along with the war on drugs, has got to go. It's just got to go. The whole entire term, law enforcers. Eric, what's going on, my brother? It's got to go. 2. It's a 2. It's definitely a 2. It's a 2 for me. And I'm good. Listen to me. So just so you guys know, the reason I haven't, did I finish that thought? Did I finish that thought? Did I? Because I want to make sure that I do, because I tend to jump around a lot. I know that. So I want to make sure. So I wouldn't get access to the camera footage. So when you talk to people about the 360 vision, you have to make sure that you say, but the very first thing first, we need a constitutional amendment that says that we get a right to the camera footage within 24 hours. You always have to say that, because that's the number one thing. That kills Big Brother. There's no more Big Brother. If we have a constitutional right to get the footage in any capacity that they shoot it, they would no longer get to manage it. It would have to go to a third party. That's the way it would have to go. And we would get it within 24 hours. No more Big Brother. No more Big Brother. Big Brother's dead. I'm 47. When I was a kid, a little kid, 7, 8 years old, the first memories I have, I remember my cousins, my older cousins in their teenage years, talking about Big Brother. Talking about Big Brother. Time for change. Time for change. We kill Big Brother by getting a constitutional right to the footage. That's how it works. Within 48 hours, that's fine. What's going on, Charlie? What's going on, Charlie? What's a little bear doing? Have some kisses? Where my kisses at? Where's my kisses at? Where's my kisses? Where my kisses? Come on, come on. That's all he wants. This is all he wants. He just wants to hang his head out the door. That's all he wants to do. That's it. So, you know, so transparency, peace, justice, it's going to be coming out. It's been a lot of work, because remember, when you talk about a decentralized peace officers corps, there's a lot of planning and structure that has to go into that. And so, my dog licked right in my mouth. I could taste whatever he was. Dog. So a decentralized system means different rules. A system without rankings means different rules. Because you don't need rankings when you swear to uphold the Constitution. You need assignments, and you need the proper logistics from a centralized board. But you don't really need commands, because what happens when you get in command here that we're seeing with law enforcers? Go out and give tickets today. Go give tickets today. They are commanding what people do who swore an oath to uphold the Constitution. Police should not be a profiteering arm of the government against us, and that's what it's become. Just like we need to reject the IRS. We need to eventually abolish the IRS. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. 87,000 new IRS auditors. You think that's right? You think that's good? What's up, Playboy? Noe, what's going on? How are you, Noe? How are you? What's going on? 87,000 new IRS auditors. Lily, what's going on? Shock Professor. Foregoing thoughts. What's going on, my friend? Michael Dolan. How are you, Michael Dolan? Michael Lynn. Good to see you, Michael. Good to see everybody. Explorer. Good to see you. Bruce, how are you, buddy? Tabitha. Nice to see you, Tabitha. Good to see you. Chevy's in the room. Special Ed Andrew. What's going on? Tommy, Eric, Angel. What's going on? Frog Hunter. V Boyer. Good to see you, Random Country. Dwayne. Don't talk to pigs. I wonder where Jeff hates pigs. Where's Jeff hates pigs? Where's he at? Rights on. Good to see you, brother. Tommy, Noe, good to see you guys. Everybody hit the like button if you would, please. I watch Brian from High Impact Flicks, and he has to remind his audience all the time, hey, you guys, make sure you hit the like button. If you're just watching this right now or even later, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Charlie's a little bear. Charlie. Uh-oh. All right, I'll get out of here pretty quick. My appointments, I'm only 8 minutes away from my appointment, so I could probably, Justice Berserker. How you doing, Justice Berserker? That's Deborah. She's still fighting the fight. What's going on, Kings? How you doing, man? Special Ed Andy, what's going on? How are you, dude? What is going on? What's going on? What is going on? Is that Joaboa? I don't know who that is. I thought that was Joaboa. Gloria, what's going on? Tommy, how are you? What's going on, Tommy? Greg, how are you? I'm so grateful you guys are all here. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. This will just grow, especially when I go up north and I solidify, because just so you guys know, and it's no big secret here, what I'm doing next is I'm taking the entrepreneurial and business prowess that I've used in the past, and I'm gonna go raise significant money to create a technology that is going to compete with the Fraternal Order of Police. Because we have got to compete with this organization that will not want change at any level. They will not, it's all, the Fraternal Order of Police is behind so many bad written legislations that were created at the Fraternal Order of Police organizations. And we've got to have some kind of rivaling entity that makes money, but at the same time, what is done with that money in actual application and how it grows without constantly raking your members. And so I think I figured that out with the transparency app, and a friend of mine down south, he knows the plan. So it's a couple of people know the actual plan of what transparency is, and it will change the game. It will absolutely change the game. It's a game motherfucking changer. That's what it is. It's a game changer. And there's no other way to see it. It's an absolute game changer. And I can't wait to have it come to fruition, because so many people believe in what we're doing, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I can't wait. And I'm gonna make it happen. God help me, I will make it happen. And you guys help me, and I appreciate it. Thank you. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. We do not stop. We don't 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 stop. Under any circumstances, under any conditions. It doesn't matter. Listen, we don't take a plea deal. 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 We don't stop. Don't take a plea deal. You should hear the story I heard yesterday. Or was it the day before? You should hear the story that I heard. It was just terrible. I got to get the flock out of here. Listen, I got nothing but love for you guys. Thank you so much. Remember, you guys go check out my website. See if I got that trifold on the front, and see if it looks a little different. We moved a couple things around. I hope it that should have just gone through today. So thank you guys so much for the love, the support. Listen, we don't stop under any circumstances, under any conditions. We don't stop. If you stop, I didn't stop. I worked today non-stop. I didn't stop. I can't see you guys as much because I can't stop. It cooled down though now, so I'm gonna do a live in the morning over the history of America. Just not tomorrow morning. I got a couple more things I gotta do. Listen, I gotta get out of here. Love you guys. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gator.